Well, good morning. It's 8 o'clock. I put my head down at. When did I put my head down? It was about 11. And I slept really quite well last night. As I mentioned to you in yesterday's video, last night I lowered everything because the wind just picked up a little. And I was thinking that we're going to be getting some biblical rain, so I thought, well, we better just lower things just a little bit to give as much protection, as possible, to me in here. And the biblical rain was just a few very light showers on and off. I could hear them, as I was sleeping and what have you. Obviously, I turned a couple of times and so they weren't exactly roarous downpours or anything. They were quite mild. So no my luck, when we walk back, that will be the biblical shower time. But going by that, I don't think the rain is going to be, too much of a problem. And I've got the back raised up off the ground a tiny bit. It's kind of because I lowered it because I wanted to have, I wanted a bit of room at the back after lowering, and then I put the lines a little bit longer, and then by doing that, that's given a little bit of height off the ground. And yesterday there was a lot of condensation yesterday morning because there was no wind. It was very still, and I don't know if I was any lower to the ground or what. Maybe a bit, but I think it's more to do with the wind. And today there's not a drop of condensation, so the sleeping bag, even though it's been touching, is completely dry. So the sleeping bag's fine. Oh, but yeah. But yeah, I slept well. I slept very well last night. So we're going to have a tea. We're not going to rush. We're not going to be too long though. But yeah, well, I mean, we're not going to rush. Not that we ever do. But we're going to have a tea, and then we just unwind and relax for a few minutes, and then we'll get some breakfast on. Like I said, it's only 8, so I think getting going for 10:30 is still possible. We'll aim for that anyway. I tied Bella down last night to a good old Eastern peg because she just kept, yesterday evening she was just barking at, there's nothing down there. I don't know whether she thought it was sheep or what she was, but all I was just rocks in the distance, and I don't know. But she was just, charging down there, and it was just making a habit of going down there. And a couple of times I called her and she came back quickly. A couple of times she just ignored me. And then a couple of times I thought, well, I'll let her bark, and then hopefully she'll realise there's nothing to bark at and give up. and that didn't really work. So in the end I thought I'm going to tie her up. So I whacked in those. An Eastern peg is very good for for securing a dog. I specifically brought the Eastern pegs for that very purpose, because I know anything less than that won't hold. But they do hold very well. Oh, anyway, I'm gonna have my tea. And bloody hell. And then we'll have some breakfast. We've got plenty of water, so we've got plenty of fuel. That's the fuel bottle. So these are really handy for fuel, and I know these are fuel, so because they're so small, they're almost useless as water, but for fuel, for 3 nights, they're perfect. And because it's so warm, I'm not using as much, because the water boils very quickly. And then obviously I use the bigger one for water. Anyway, I'm going to have that, and we will take my vitamins. Here comes another biblical shower. Here comes a biblical earthquake. No. I didn't look at you because I wanted you. I don't want you. I want to have a tea. Yeah. Oh, Bella. Oh, thank you. I always wanted my nose washed. You probably be just licking your bottom, and then you come over and wash my face. I got my tea. Yeah. No, you are good. Yeah, it's a shower again. At least it's not very heavy showers anyway. So it was supposed to be heavy showers overnight. And then the same into the morning. So I'm assuming that it'll just be like this all day, just very light showers. Hopefully we can get back and we won't really get very wet in this. Anyway, what time is it? 8:10. Alright, let's get moving, relaxing. Well, we're gonna pack this pack. So here, I'm just going to be careful around this side because I've got my water on to boil. So I've got my warm jacket in the bottom of the sleeping bag. So we're not going to need that obviously, and I've not needed it. I think I put it on once with the first evening, and that was it. Because I use waterproof zips, sorry, because I have a waterproof bag, and then this pack has a lot of zips on it. You've just got to be very careful how you put stuff. Concentrate, Tony. Because this bag's got a lot of zips on it. If you're zipping it up, you just have to be careful not to catch things that you do not want to be caught. Like waterproof plastic bags. I was thinking because I was expecting it to be like biblical rain and I haven't got spare clothes for the car, I was thinking of wearing just my kilt over my underwear, or maybe, given that we're going back to the car, wearing these these trousers, the EE Enlightened Equipment Trail. I really like these. You know, they're ridiculous. They're probably the lightest trouser that I have. They're perfect for in camp, because I can use them wandering around if the trousers have got wet. They're good for wandering around camp. They don't weigh anything. And I can wear them, you know, in bed as well. I always like to wear something between me and the sleeping bag. And I have to say, they work perfectly for that. Well, we will use the LittleStar more often moving forward, because I do want to see how it is in biblical weather. In these fairly benign conditions, I never once needed the rain cover for the sleeping bag. So we'll keep my hat out. I'll keep the waterproof out just in case. The kilt obviously stays out. That's water for at least one more tea. We've got one tea on, but we'll make at least one more tea. That's socks. There's really not very much else. Oh, the mat that I'm sitting on. So that's the most of the stuff in there. In the front pocket on this, at the moment I can't put the stove, but the stove will fit down in there. The solar panel fits in there. I just need to make sure I remember that I've put it in there. You could, in theory, put your first aid stuff. I mean, I'll put the first aid stuff and microphones and stuff in the main pocket, but you could probably put some bits like that in there. We're charging up my phone, so that's now fully charged. So I've got to put all those wires away. So it's really just incidentals. But like I say, my cook pot fits in there, and just to show you, my teacup, that fits in there nicely. Surprising. So if you're into photography, it's not a cheap bag, I have to say. It cost a bit, but it is nice. It is quite. I'll do a separate video on it at some point, but you can get a lot of your camping, hiking stuff in it, and how much you get in it. So your camera stuff goes in this space down here. So at the moment I've got my case filters, and I brought my bigger lens in case that buzzard was back around again, but I didn't see him. Well, not close enough, long enough to warrant trying to get that set up, so that didn't pan out. But and they do special dividers that you put in here, and they're separate to the pack, and they're not cheap either. So it's kind of a case of I bought this first and then I'll get the dividers. So you can get a small divider that obviously just takes up this space here, And then you get medium divider, large divider, you know, and then extra humongous divider. And then obviously you can't get any of your stuff in there. So it depends, you know, it is quite adaptable to what you want to do. You know, if you've got a lot of camera stuff and you just want to take a few provisions, then, you know, you can do it. It is ridiculously I have to say, I am surprised how comfortable it is as a backpack. It's very, very comfortable. It's easily as comfortable as my Gregory. It really is comfortable. I mean, I'd need to use it, you know, a bit more, but yeah, it seems very, very comfortable to me. And I had it loaded up coming in about it must have been about 17 kilograms when I came in with the camera, lens, that big lens, all her food, my food, you know, the tripod. And I have to say, it was comfortable. Oh, anyway, we've got to make another tea. And then slowly pack up. Mwah. Oh, you are a good girl. Are you going to be a good girl? Oh. All right, come on. We've got to do a bit more sorting. We've got to make another tea. Oh. Oh. Oh, you're making yourself cozy. Cozy Bella Wella. Oh, what's that? What are you standing on? Oh. Well, I was trying to do a bit more putting away. I've changed. I've deflated the mat. I've changed. And then this happened. And we've drunk the tea, although we will have one more tea. But we haven't progressed from that because we got into a titty-tupted. We got into a titty-tupted, didn't we? Yeah, we went to titty-tupted. Oh, Bella. Boo, 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 boo. Oh, Bella. Okay, look at your fluffy bum. Look at your fluffy knickers. Look at your frilly knickers. Hmm? You'd be putting the red light out with those fluffy knickers. Look at the fluffy knickers. We can make some money from you then, couldn't we? The fluffy knicker brigade. Yeah. A little shower's on the way. It's 9:15. Well, we are making progress. I do think that getting out of the shelter at 10 even at this rate is quite likely. We would have been a bit earlier actually, I think, if we hadn't kept getting interrupted by fluffnicks, fluffy bum. Oh, Bella, what's this funny poor business? What's this funny poor business? Alright, we've got to put the kettle on. We could have one more tea and then get some more stuff put away. The ladies and gentlemen out there, they're desperate for me to put something else in the bag. Probably enjoy me. You're probably enjoying you more. Yeah, you're the highlight, you are, aren't you? Oh, Bella. You're getting a big lump, you are. Oh, Bella. Alright, come on. Ow! Oh, Ryan Cadoogles! Mind where you're putting your paws. Right in Daddy's Cadoogles. Daddy doesn't want to flatten Cadoogles. Oh, Bella. Oh, thank you. Mwah. Oh, right in the Cadoogles. Oh. Oh. Alright, come on, let's do something. Let's pretend we're doing something. Just really pretend we're doing so. Ow, it's my foot now. Ow. Oh, Bella. Okay, so let's carry on. Put that in there. I'll pack the wind shirt because if I need anything in this weather, it's going to be this raincoat. So I think I just pack the wind shirt. You know, and hope I don't need the raincoat, but we'll kind of see once we get going. There's a tiny bit of dog food left, so not there. We'll put that in there. The rain is falling again, but I really don't think it's much. Although it is getting a bit dark and breezy again, it's probably actually worth trying to get, you know, as much done as we can while this shower goes over, because I've definitely noticed that, obviously just because what's happened doesn't mean it's what's going to happen, but I have noticed that the showers do, you know, you have a shower and then they go, they pass over. Right, my phone is charged up to 100%, so that should be more than enough to get me home. So I'll just put all the power in there. My vitamins can go in there. So the tea stuff I need just for the minute. I've taken my vitamins. That's batteries and such like that goes in there. Someone asked what these bags are. I think they're called something like Nylon fume or something like that. NYLO or LALOFUME. They're basically made of the same material as polycro, but they're put in, you know, they're put into a bag, but they are really strong. You know, it's not like a conventional plastic bag that rips and tears, you know, when you just look at it. It really is good, and it's light as well, which obviously is a bit of a bonus. Nose drops. I think that's pretty much everything. Like I said, I will use this bag some more, just as something a little bit different as well. And I'll get those dividers. I'll get the dividers over the next few months. I do a 36 as well, but given that I'm filling up at 60, I'm not convinced that I get away with a 36. Not for 3 nights, but well, because obviously at the moment I'm carrying Bella's food. Once she's older, then obviously, you know, I can transfer a few bits over to her. And the side pockets, which if you remember me talking about in particularly the Osprey packs as not being, you know, very good because they're too tight when loaded up you know, these have got some spring in them, so you can see that even though it's loaded up, you can get maybe not a huge amount in, but you can definitely get some in there. And I think you will get a bottle in there. You will definitely get that sized bottle in there. And that was a big criticism I had of the Osprey packs, that once it's loaded up you can't get anything in those side pockets, which just seems utterly ridiculous. I think what I'm going to do is this is probably the heaviest shower that we've had all night and now, so we'll definitely let this one pass and hope it passes in the next half hour, and we'll keep plodding along here. Anyway, I think the next thing to do, let's get this plastic sheet up. Right there. Ooh. Ooh. Oh, Bella. And my water. And even the plastic sheet isn't too wet. Oh, Bella. Oh. At least you're not too drippy. At least you're not too drippy. Oh. Give me kisses. I don't want kisses all the time. Oh. Oh. Just make tea. Oh God. Oh. Oh. I want to make my tea. Oh, stretch. Yeah, we'll get going soon. We've got to make tea. Oh, Bella. Can you let me make my tea? Oh. How can I make tea? How can I make tea? You want cuddles all the time? You're a cuddly dog, aren't you? You want cuddles all the time. I've got to make tea. Look, now you're upside down, right? Now look at you. Now you're upside down. Now you're upside down. Oh. Are you going to sit up? Oh. I don't want your bottom. Oh God. I don't want your bottom in my face. That didn't quite work out, does it? No, I don't want your bottom. I don't want your bottom. Well, we'll just sit this out for a little bit. It's just a few incidentals to go in, that's all. But this is the biblical rain that we were waiting for. In a way, it's a shame it had to happen now rather than in 2 hours' time when we're back at the car, but hopefully it will pass over. But what it does show is that rain isn't getting there it's not even getting there, and that's quite close, you know, to the entrance there. So obviously swirling rain, and if the rain did a 180 or a 90 or 100 degrees or something, so it was coming in this way, might be a bit different, but certainly this rain, and I think it is going at that angle a little bit if you look at it, and it's not getting in. There's maybe one drop there, but that might have been from earlier, I don't know. And to be fair, you know, you're always going to get like one drop in a million that somehow gets in, but it's still over there. It's still not, you know, it's not where your head would be. So it does seem to give, you know, good cover. So yeah, it's good that we've at least been able to see it, and I just hope that it passes over in a minute. Alright, well, we've got walking. I thought I would try the pack cover. I wouldn't normally. This is probably the first time I've ever used a pack cover, and I can see on a camera bag a use, because obviously unless you wrap your camera stuff up in bags, you know, it's kind of helpful for a pack like this. Obviously a normal backpack, I just make sure everything is dry in the bag. We're gonna get, feet are already, oh, we're no better off. Just gonna have to go for it. Feet are already wet. But yeah, it fits over the tripod and 2 roll mats, just about. There's a bit of a little bit of exposed at the edges, but not too bad. But it fits on. There are some Velcro straps on it, but I don't really know what they strap on to. I must admit, in this weather, I wasn't about to waste much time farting around trying to figure out what they attach to, but because I've got a whole load of stuff on the pack, then it's a good tight fit. If you didn't have roll mats and tripod and stuff in the very top, then it would be a little bit looser and flappier, I would guess. And then you probably would need those. Other attachment points. But it is comfortable. The back, the whole back is comfortable. Anyway, we're gonna keep walking through this rain. We just got to get up this hill. Oh God! And then, wet and boggy. Once we're up, it's really just this bit here that's particularly gnarly. Once we're now we're through it, so now it's just grass. A nice path. The path goes about 3/4 of the way up. You kind of think, oh, that's a good path, and then just up there it buggers off, and then you just gotta just keep going up, get to the top, and then if you go any further you'll fall off a cliff down into a lake or reservoir or whatever. So really it's just a matter of just going straight up really, and then at the top go left, and then it's down to the car. Pack still feels heavy, but then I put a wet tent in, or you know, the LittleStar. Oh, there's still a bit more of a boggy bit. I thought we'd come to the last of the bogs, but not quite. But I thought better just to get going. I don't know if this is going to get any better or any worse, because the forecast was for biblical rain all night. It was a few light showers, and we've had the biblical rain about half an hour before it was time to get going, and the forecast said the biblical rain would finish between 10 and 12 with light rain. So hopefully, that was when I looked at the forecast yesterday. So hopefully we get a little bit of a respite in a minute. Still, it's not too bad, it could be worse. Oh, a little steep bit there. Alright, I'm gonna concentrate on walking. I think we're having the biblical rain now. It's about 8 hours or 6 hours behind, because we were supposed to have had biblical rain until 10 o'clock from about 5 o'clock, and then nice friendly rain from 10 o'clock until 12 o'clock. So we had the nice friendly rain in camp when we were sleeping, nice and dry, and then when we got going, the biblical rain really took off. But we're making progress. It can't be. Oh Jesus! It can't be. We have kind of picked up a half decent trail through here too. Miracle of miracles, we actually found a trail. So we can't be too far from the top. So we'll keep ploughing on. Can't even see that way. I don't even turn into it. At least we got it at least it's largely behind us, or to the side behind anyway. We'll keep going until we get to the top. Like I said, it can't be too much further. Annoyingly, I can feel this I can feel this rain seeping through to my undies, and rather stupidly I haven't got spare in the car. Let's get there and then we'll go from there. I've got the leggings that I could put on in a pinch. It's our first sheep up there, and our path I think just goes on up here. Oh, yeah, I think it goes through there. Have you got stuck again? It does occasionally. Oh, it hasn't even caught on much. Oh, sorry. Go on. Oh. I must admit, could have done without this, but never mind. All part of the all part of the fun. I don't know, it's just worse when you're going back to have weather like this. It's kind of like when you're walking, and if you stop, you're probably going to get into camp and strip everything off and get into your sleeping bag. Oh. Alright, let's keep going. Well, this weather hasn't got any better, and now it's blowing a gale now that we're above a Foundling thing. Oh, that's all the Welsh subscribers buggered off. But oh my god, oh, this is miserable weather. Absolutely miserable. I think it's if I think of it, I think I really ought to go back to putting spare clothes in the car. You know, at least a basic change. I've got, oh god. Oh. Oh my god. Oh. I nearly lost my cajubles. Oh. I've got a t-shirt in the pack, and I might very well put my nighttime leggings on, just take everything else off and put them on. Oh my god. Oh, epic, epic biblical walk back to the car. Oh, I don't know who I upset. I must have upset someone and got some bad karma somewhere. I need to get some good karma back. Oh, I think I've done anything. Oh. I will say if someone does something horrible, then karma sorts them out. I don't think I've done anything to deserve bad karma. Oh, some people do. Oh. But anyway, my God, we've got to get down there, and this doesn't look like it's going to go away anytime soon. I'll tell you, the weather forecast, I should have looked again last night, because I whipped off about 8 o'clock up the little hill just to check my phone again, really. And I should have checked the weather again when I was up there. But to be honest, you know, this is about the time that we would have got going, unless by some miracle, you know, if I'd have seen that biblical rain was coming in at 10, maybe I would have got going at 9, but and maybe missed some of this. Anyway, it is what it is. Oh. I must, oh God, right, heavy rain right in the eye. Oh. My knees really don't like going down. I think it's much easier for my knees, my arthritical knees. Oh fuck. And now I've got the rain in my eyes. Oh. Oh fuck. Oh God. Oh God, why did we do this? We had absolutely beautiful weather. We've actually been quite lucky the last handful of camps, because we went through a load of camps where, like, over every camp was miserable weather. And then I must admit, the last handful or so has been quite decent. Anyway, I think I'm gonna concentrate on trying to get down here. My eyes are stinging. We're near the bottom by the reservoir thing, and it's still raining, but it's not as bad as it was. If it had been like this, this would have been fine walking back like this, not that just hammering it down stuff. I think what I'm wearing has just got completely overwhelmed by that weather. Like I said, it's fine for camping, because you can just get into camp and strip off and into your sleeping bag. Anyway, now it's stopped raining, everyone, look at it, there's dozens of people walking up that hill. I've never seen so many walking up. It's a stream of there's more people walking up there than there was rain coming down. Jesus. Oh God. Must be like a bloody coach party or something. Anyway, oh my knees. Oh my knees. Oh. I think I should have taken an ibuprofen before I got walking. I took my glucosamine. Oh, Bella. Yes, I'll be glad if she finally figures out that she's got to walk without chasing things, and we can do away with that with that long line. Oh God. And no, I'm not putting her on a short line attached to me, that's even worse. Oh, fuck that. God. Oh. Anyway, you can see that obviously the water level has dropped quite a bit, so I think this reservoir probably needs a bit of rain. Oh, wow, my knees. Oh, going down. Anyway, we're nearly we're nearly down here, then it's just to walk back to the car, and then I got to figure out what the heck I'm doing with all my wet stuff. I see what my shirt's like. I'll maybe try and dig out my nighttime trousers. I wonder whether it's a kiddie thing, because there were some kiddies around yesterday walking past. Probably not like the Duke of Edinburgh or 10 Tours, but probably something, probably the Welsh equivalent or something. Alright, okay. Anyway, I hope you've, where are you? There you are. I hope you've enjoyed this I hope you've enjoyed this wind-blown walk back to the car. We'll catch up in the next video.